Hi, I'm April Igneri, and I'm the Director for Prevention and Outreach for the Children's Advocacy Center of Hampshire County. Here at the Children's Advocacy Center, we believe that all kids deserve safety, healing, and justice. In this video, we will talk about the Handle with Care program. As part of our mission, the Children's Advocacy Center has been facilitating the rollout of the Handle with Care initiative in Hampshire County school districts. Handle with Care is a simple communication program that connects first responders with local school districts. When a first responder arrives on a scene and they notice that a child is present, they gather 3 pieces of information: the child's name, age, and school. They will then send those 3 pieces of information in an instant notification that will go to the school districts and will say, "Handle with Care." That's it. No other information is shared, which protects the confidentiality of children and their families. This program is hugely beneficial to students because it gives teachers a heads up before they arrive at school the next day that they may have been through something traumatic. Children that have experienced trauma may react in various ways. They might experience depression, anger, or grief. They might experience physical symptoms like being hungry or tired, or having a headache or feeling sick. They might have difficulty identifying their emotions. If the school team is aware that something traumatic may have happened to cause the student to act this way, then they can set up trauma-sensitive supports in their school community. They will know to show more empathy and grace and can set up a safety net of support for these kids in the days and weeks to come. The CAC is here to help facilitate these partnerships between school districts and their local first responders. We will set up initial meetings to talk about how this may look in your particular community. We can help with setting up the notification system and train everyone involved.
Hi, I'm Kevin Perkunis. I'm the Chief of Police for the Belchertown Police Department. It can be very difficult for officers to go to scenes where kids are involved or are witnesses, and it's just as difficult to leave those scenes not knowing what's going to happen to them once they leave. Handle with Care alleviates that problem for the officers. The CAC helped us generate a QR code, and we laminated these codes onto index cards. Each officer was given one. They were placed in cruisers. They're easily accessible. The QR code is simple to use. Just take a picture, send you to a website, 5 or 6 fields you tab through quickly and hit submit. It's that simple. The training for Handle with Care is very minimal. The officers picked up on it right away. It's just as simple as taking a picture, the form comes up, and tabbing through the fields. The officers bought into this right away. There was no resistance. They saw that I believed in it. They saw that the command staff believed in it. We use Handle with Care for all kinds of calls. Anytime a child is a witness or is present, could be a car crash, could be a noise complaint. It's not always a criminal event. We don't try to determine if it's traumatic to them. We activate Handle with Care regardless. Handle with Care is an immediate process. The school has the information when school begins that day. Our school resource officer is responsible for 5 schools. He can't always be at the school. There could be 2 schools where Handle with Care came into. The schools have the information immediately. The officer can follow up at his convenience to go over those calls with them at a later time.
My name is Sean Fortin. I am the Assistant Superintendent for Teaching and Learning at the Belchertown Public Schools. When we started talking about Handle with Care, we were excited about how similar it was to what we were already doing. In practice, when something would happen in town with a student or a family, the police department, typically our school resource officer, would share information with the superintendent's office whenever possible, with principals, with teachers when he could, but not necessarily through any sort of defined process. What Handle with Care did for us was it formalized the communication from police department to school district central office to principals to teachers and any other staff that was involved. When we started, CAC staff came to each school and talked to our teachers in their schools about what a Handle with Care was, and they were very explicit about what wasn't going to happen. This was simply a student name, Handle with Care. You were not going to get more information from the police department. It was really just for teachers to be more patient with a student, to know that the team, the nurse, the doctor, the guidance counselor, the other teachers, the team at school was also aware that something was happening. So they had other adults in the building to call upon if they needed additional support. The component of it that is most impactful is that you do not necessarily need to do anything differently for this individual student. It's treating this student with the Handle with Care with more TLC. For us as a district, it's then expanding that concept to creating a safety net of support in all classrooms for all students. There have been a number of positive impacts. First and foremost, the relationship with the police department. We have received Handle with Care notifications from a variety of officers on the force. It's not just one person sending it in. To know that the police department is in full support of this program and of the school has been wonderful. It has also helped to increase empathy between staff members and students, but to know that they have things outside of school that impact their ability to access what's being taught during the day. When we rolled out Handle with Care in October, I think we had 8 to 10 notifications that came in right away. I did not expect those numbers to continue, but they did. I think we finished the year between October and June with 60 plus Handle with Care notifications. There are traumas that are occurring outside of school and potentially coming into the school building, whether you have a program to identify it or not. For us, Handle with Care was a relatively simple and easy to implement way to formalize language around when we receive a notice from the police department, to establish process for who gets that information and how much information they get. And ultimately, it's good for all students, and in particular, the students who were potentially struggling within the school, for a day, for 2 days, to know that they've got something going on outside of school that could impact their ability to access what's happening in school.
And if you work with children who've experienced trauma, the CAC is here to help. We have resources and experienced professionals that can help children heal. Please do not hesitate to reach out.